Yo, what do you guys think about the Bermuda Triangle? Why do airplanes disappear in the air and never come back and there's no trace of them?
These Navy aircrafts were flying out into a region known as the Bermuda Triangle, a section of the Atlantic Ocean stretching from Miami to Bermuda and down to Puerto Rico. Around this time in the 1940s, the Bermuda Triangle was finding its way in the news for having an unusually high number of aircrafts and ships mysteriously disappearing out in the ocean. Researchers couldn't figure out as
It's like a portal. Like, I want to go there just to, like, see.
to why. Despite this alarming number of disappearances, these 5 US Navy torpedo bombers set out into the Bermuda Triangle for a routine training mission known as Flight 19. This training mission was led by Lieutenant Charles Taylor, who had over 2,500 hours of flight time, considered very high for the time. Surely with a pilot this experienced, nothing could go wrong. Flight 19's mission was to fly east from this air station.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Once I get money, I'm flying to the Bermuda Triangle. And don't say GG's because nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm going into the Bermuda Triangle. I'm gonna end all the conspiracy theories. That shit is not real. I'm gonna go fly into the Bermuda Triangle and see if I disappear. In GTA. Can you fly to the Amazon jungle too? For what?
And dropped some bombs as a training exercise over a coral reef called Henson
Why
Chicken.
would I do that?
After dropping the bombs here, the group of 5 aircrafts would then fly north over Grand Bahama Island and then finally turn west and head back towards Fort Lauderdale. The weather was forecasted to be mostly clear with a slight chance of scattered showers. As the group of 5 bombers departed Fort Lauderdale, everything was going as planned. Flight 19 dropped their test bombs over the Henson Chicken Reef and then began heading north towards Grand Bahama Island. As Flight 19 began heading north, this is when very unusual problems began to arise. At approximately 3:45 p.m., now an hour and 45 minutes after the flight first departed, Lieutenant Taylor began calling back to the Fort Lauderdale flight tower, sounding very confused and worried. Taylor said that he did not see land, referring to the Grand Bahama Island, and believed that Flight 19 had veered very off course. The Fort Lauderdale flight tower then got on the radio and responded,
"What is your position?"
Then, silence. The flight tower at Fort Lauderdale was supposed to still be able to see Flight 19 out in the distance since it was a clear day and they weren't all that far from land. But as the ground crew at Fort Lauderdale looked out in the distance, there were no fighter jets to be seen.
Yo. Motherfucker said, talk to some unconsated tribes. Say what's up, check out the stream. Yeah, buddy. I'm gonna go to the tribes in the Amazon jungle and totally do that. I'm gonna go to the tribes and say check out the stream. Bro, what? Yeah.
After a few minutes of silence, Taylor then radioed back to the flight tower and said,
"We cannot be sure where we are. We cannot see land."
The air tower was attempting to radio back to Taylor and Flight 19, but for 10 minutes, all they got back was silence. Finally, a different pilot from Flight 19 got on the radio and called into the flight tower saying,
"We cannot find west. Everything is wrong. Everything looks strange, even the ocean."
There was another pause in communication, and then the flight tower learned that Lieutenant Taylor
Bro, this shit is so weird. Like, isn't it like, yo, bro, this earth is so crazy and weird, bro. Sorry about some bucket. Yo, bro. Like, why is there so much shit happening, bro? Motherfuckers talk about, oh, they seen aliens. Another motherfuckers that Bermuda Triangle disappearing. People fucking seeing giants and shit in a mountain. Motherfuckers, yo, bro. I don't know what's going on in this earth. But please, God, let me be away from all that shit. I don't want to be near that. Fuck that. It's called Charlie. birthday. Happy birthday to Chap. Who's Chap? Chap. Charlie Kaplan's happy birthday. I guess. I'm so confused. Hey, man. I guess, man. Clap it up. I don't know why we're clapping, but hey, man. We're clapping. Pause!
Had turned over his command to another pilot for unknown reasons. This is all the Fort Lauderdale Air Tower heard, though, followed by another 20 minutes of silence. Finally, another pilot part of Flight 19 was able to call into the air tower, now in a state of panic.
The next game I'm playing, I don't know. I don't know what to play. I don't know what game to download, none of that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I might just play Roblox. Bro, I be trolling on Roblox. But, bro, I don't want to play one game the rest of my life, bro. I just want to... Like, you feel me? Like, I don't know what games are popular right now. Or, like, what games, like... I don't know.
We cannot tell where we are. Everything is... cannot make out anything. We think we may be about 225 miles northeast of the airbase.
For a few more moments, the pilot continued rambling, not making any sense, before finally making out,
It looks like we were entering white water. We're completely lost.
the Fort Lauderdale flight tower could now tell that Flight 19 was in serious trouble, so they sent out 2 other military rescue jets out into the ocean to look for Flight 19. These 2 rescue jets were instructed to travel to Flight 19's last known location.
Yeah. Cause you're totally gonna... I'm gonna lose it. Bro, cause you're totally gonna go rescue some pilots that disappeared in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of fucking a triangle. So now that they disappeared, you're gonna go save them. How are you gonna save them? Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, these people are fucking stupid. How are you gonna save them? If they disappeared, you're gonna disappear too, dumbass. How are you gonna get them back? Do you have a portal? Disposed in your fucking... Like, you just pull out a portal out your ass? And just... you know what? This shit's getting me mad, bro. Like, this shit's getting me mad. Marvel Rivals. Yo, bro, everybody talk about Marvel Rivals, bro. But I don't know if it's ass or not. Like, I don't know. People be like, I don't know. It looks ass to me. I don't know. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like playing that shit. I don't know. It reminds me of a game that I used to hate. But, hey,
10 minutes after the rescue jet.
You know what kind of games I like? Yo, I might start playing GTA again. I might start playing GTA on stream. Bro, I was playing GTA RP, bro. I be talking to people, you feel me? GTA roleplay and shit, whatever. I ain't gonna lie, it's fun, bro. Regular GTA, not so much, but yo, RP, bro, I could go to New York and shit. Be in New York in GTA, you feel me?
Jets took off and checked in with the flight tower. These rescue jets also lost all radio transmission with Fort Lauderdale's flight tower. Now, 6 different aircrafts had all vanished over the ocean east
You see what I say?
to Florida within a span of just 30 minutes. In the coming days, the
Idiots.
U.S. Navy and Coast Guard sent ships and planes out to
And now they're gonna send more for them to disappear. How fucking dumb can you actually be? Like, even I have the logic not to do that. But they have captains and fucking, police and all that shit. We're gonna go to the rescue. We're Superman.
investigate what had happened to Flight 19 and the 2 rescue planes that went out to search for them. The military searched over 250,000 square miles of the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf waters, but nothing was ever...
We're just gonna keep sending people to rescue them, but they keep disappearing. Oh my god, I don't know why. No, but we're just gonna keep sending them. Yo, I'm done, bro. I can't do this shit.
Were found. The 14 men in Flight 19 and 13 other men belonging to the 2 rescue planes were never seen again. This mysterious disappearance was just one of the many different
Yo.
ships and aircrafts that had disappeared in this section of the Atlantic Ocean known as the Bermuda Triangle. But why here? Why have so many planes and ships disappeared in this section of the Atlantic Ocean?
Because you keep sending them.
Especially from expert pilots, like in the case of Flight 19. Years after this disappearance, investigators came to believe that the
Oh my god. Yo. Yo, I can't. No, I actually can't. Like, there's no way that they have this low of an IQ, bro. Are they actually that dumb? They say rescuers, they disappeared. They didn't learn from that. They sent another rescue team. They disappeared. They didn't learn from that. They said the captains are coming with ships now, and all sorts of shit. We're coming to the rescue. Disappeared. They didn't know. Now you're sending police investigators. What do you think is gonna happen, bub?
pilots in Flight 19 were having problems with their compasses. Many pilots and sailors have actually also encountered this problem in the Bermuda Triangle, leading to many other crashes and disappearances. It was discovered that Lieutenant Taylor had believed he was actually flying over the Florida Keys and was heading west. He thought that if he flew northeast, this would take Flight 19 back towards Florida's mainland. Flight 19 was not over the Florida Keys though. They were actually very close to their original planned out flight path. Flight 19 was actually over Grand Bahama Island, which many say looks similar to the Florida Keys, at least from above. In this state of confusion, Lieutenant Taylor directed Flight 19 to begin heading.
Yo, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not watching this.